the biggest fucking show in the world. 93, 93, 93, 93, 90, 90, 90, 93, 3, 3, 3. Check, check, check. Auzzo, it is episode 105, baby. Making our way through November. It is live in 5 with the captain, Gage Ausmus, and Jay Swish. Auzzo, you were asking me before we started the show. You were asking me, when are you flying into the chin of Winnipeg for the 112th edition of the Grey Cup? And my friend, that answer is at 9 p.m. We are landing, I think, at 2 a.m. It was the only direct bird on WrenchJet, a.k.a. WestJet. So we elected to take that because who knows? Flying to Minneapolis, you get stuck there late. You go into Calgary, good luck. All of a sudden you're in Regina and you're hopping on the Greyhound. So we thought, keep it simple. At least if this bird gets off the air into the skies, we got a chance to get to Winnipeg. Can't wait to get there. This has been a bucket list game for me. And the fact that our good buddy, Colton Sanderson, who put me onto the Saskatchewan Roughriders years ago, they are playing in this game. And it is the hardest 9-team league in the world. So I'm fired up. It's the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Montreal Nauru Massage Alouettes. I'm so pumped, dude. I was seeing some pictures online. It's just hilarious. Everything about the CFL is hilarious, but the goalpost, like, what were they thinking when they made that rule? I was like, there's 3 downs. Okay, I can get on board with that. The running start, okay, I can get how you want to be different that way. The ball's a little bigger. That doesn't really make sense to me, but still, I can get on board with it. But the goalpost, what were they thinking putting that at the start of the end zone? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what the thought was behind that. Maybe just more entertainment. Like, you could have a guy die on the field by running into the post. So maybe that's what they were thinking when they started that. If you think about it from a logical standpoint, Jordan, there really is no reason to have it in the middle of the field.
Like, we get that the end zone is 20 yards fucking long, but at the same point, wouldn't you just want to shorten the field up and you could theoretically still make it 100 yards long if you wanted to. It's 120, I believe, in the CFL. But theoretically, you could still make the end zones as big, just less field. And then that way nobody has to die. Like, also, imagine you could almost get crucified with that field goal post right there. If you're running a slant up the middle late in the game and the game is on the line, what happens if not only you have to worry about the free safety, you have to worry about a metal steel pole that is about 3 feet in circumference. Like, it might kill you if you hit that.
It might. If you run into it, I mean, in this day and age when you're worried about concussions and breaking your neck, especially playing the game of football. Yeah, I just looked it up, Jordan. The logic behind it is to make kicking more exciting by encouraging more field goal attempts and to allow for more strategic play. Isn't there some type of rule if you kick a field goal
and you punt it through the uprights?
Can you catch a field goal? Like, do you have a guy standing behind?
Yeah.
Can you catch it and run it out, and then it doesn't count?
So if they make it and it doesn't go through the end zone, I believe while the ball is still in play. Now, the Canadian listeners I might botch this, so just bear with us here. I don't really know the rules, even though I love it, but I believe you can catch it, Auzzo, make or miss, as long as the ball is in the end zone or in the field of play, and you can try to run it back for a touchdown or some amount of points. I don't know if it's 2 or it's 6. I'm not sure, but I do know that you can run the ball out, make or miss.
Okay, so you can run the ball out. Yeah, it's got a little bit of rugby mix in there, doesn't it?
It does, and also one of the other things, Auzzo, is you can punt the ball through the uprights to get, I believe, 1 point. So if you can't make the field goal, you can theoretically punt it through. So you don't have to have a placeholder, but you can just try to punt it through for 1 point. Because I remember there was one game I was watching back in the day. And again, I might botch this story a little bit. I'll have to clarify with Dusky, Uncle Rico, shout out. who's an avid Saskatchewan Riders fan. But there was this game, Auzzo, where each team, it was late in the game, and they kept punting it through the end zone to score. And then the next team, once they made it, they would kick off, and then they would drive down like 7 yards. And then the other team would punt it through again. So it kept going back like 35, 36, 36, 36, 37, 37, 38, 37. So it was this game where it was just a punt fest for 1 point. Nobody was trying to score. Nobody was trying to score, let alone a field goal. They were just punting it through the fucking uprights. It was legitimately retarded. Like that's where I fell in love with the game.
And isn't there only 3 downs too? So like they're just kicking it back and forth the whole game. You got to wonder, maybe they're just trying to separate themselves from the NFL, but you got to wonder if like a city like Vancouver or Toronto has thought about maybe we should just get an NFL team. Like
100%.
I know the CFL is storied and there's a lot of history behind it, and Canadians, take pride in having their own format or game of football. But at some point, why don't you guys just hop into the NFL? I mean, it's clearly a better product. There's more money involved in it. But then, you probably wouldn't have the Winnipeg team, the Rough Riders. So you would lose those teams, which would be sad, but you gotta think like Toronto and Vancouver are like, should we just add an NFL team here?
For sure. And you make a great point where even adjusting the rules, I think, would create more guys to go play up there versus being on a practice squad or exploring different options in other leagues. I mean, we've had Brian Peters on the show. The fact that he was able to even make it out of the CFL and be a NFL captain is crazy. Luke Wilson, who we've had on Home by 3, always talks about on Twitter and voices his opinion. He's actually a really big beauty, but he always talks about, Auzzo, why doesn't the CFL try to become more like the NFL so it's a more of a feeder product to the NFL? And you should see the backlash that guy gets from CFL hardos. Like, he just takes it on the chin from like legitimate writers and broadcasters. Oh yeah. And he goes back at him because he's, a nail gun Super Bowl champion. But yeah, he has advocated for that for years. And it just seems like there's some hold up there from the traditional CFL fans. But like, politely putting it, Auzzo, if you're a traditional CFL fan, like, that might even be bad for the game of football as a whole. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest.
Thing. Yeah, like should you really be listening to those fans?
Right.
Like, does their opinion really matter? I know they love the tradition of the sport, but I guess they've kept it going that long. I don't know how old. Like, this. How old is the Grey Cup? Like,
this is the 112th edition of the Grey Cup.
So I mean, it's clearly, I guess, it's been working. 112 years. How many leagues are 112 years old? There ain't many. So do you fix something that's not broken? I guess it's just, I don't know. Like, do these Canadian people, do they not watch the NFL?
I would say in bigger markets, they do. The cities that you mentioned, of course. But if you talk to some guy in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, he is watching the Riders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys in Winnipeg, they're glued to the TVs for the Blue Bombers. Do some of them think it's kind of funny and a joke? The guys that we would probably know? Yeah, but they know what's going on. Those are their teams. Those are, for a while there, Winnipeg didn't have an NHL team. The Bombers were their biggest thing. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, they don't have an NHL team. That's their biggest thing in Pill Country is the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So I think it kind of depends where you are. But yeah, that's the state of affairs with the CFL. I also just think it's hilarious at one point. I mean, it's a 9-team league and 2 teams in the league had the same name. Like, you can't forget about that. We had the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Like, you have 9 teams. You only got to pick 9 names. Like, just don't use one of the other 8. Like, why are we both the Riders?
Come on, boys. That had to have been. Is that now changed now? Like, it's different. That had to have been a pretty funny Mexican standoff right there. Like, hey, buddy, we're the Riders. No, we're the Riders.
Right.
I'm not changing it. I'm not changing either. I want to be the Riders.
So
I want to be the Riders. Well,
so
someone's got to pick and choose here. Like, we can't have two Riders in this 9-team league. Well, actually, we can, because none of us we're stubborn. We're not fucking changing our name. We're both the Riders.
like having a dick measuring competition in a 9-team league for the naming rights of the squad. But yeah, Ottawa, they changed. They're actually the Red Blacks now. How'd they come up with that name? The Ottawa Red Blacks.
That sounds like a rugby name there.
It is, yeah. It's like the All Blacks in Australia. So yeah, I'm fired up, Auzzo. I'm getting up to Winnipeg. I think it's similar to rules as Vegas of the North. I call it Grand Forks, Las Vegas. You can be there for about 48 hours, and then you got to get the hell out of town. So we'll see if Uncle Rico shows up. Last I talked to, he was on the fence, but it is his team. I can't wait. So shout out to Rhett Gardner. Shout out to Colton Sanderson, both those beauties, and a ton of other Saskatchewan guys I know. I know they'll be glued to the TV on Sunday. And we have full media access and credentials, Auzzo. So I will be on the field as the gray is getting handed out. I will be in the locker room after the game asking questions. I will be roughly 8 to 13 deep. So who knows what questions I will be asking these guys as they hoist the oldest trophy in sports.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, I was telling you earlier, and I actually kind of meant it. I mean, that might be cooler than being at the Cup final, just because it'd be so funny, like, to see these guys, and the locker room's going to be going after they win it, and it's just something I think you can have fun with. Versus, like, if you're at the Cup final, it's a little more like, I don't know. It's a little more
buttoned up and
official. Detailed. Yeah, official. Where this is kind of like a rodeo per se. You're just it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see the content that comes out of that.
Yeah, I'm fired up, and I think tomorrow we're hoping to get on the field, maybe kick some field goals. So we'll see. To everyone in Winnipeg, I can't wait to see you. Auzzo, speaking of the rodeo, just lastly on my front, then we'll get to you. I just want to mention, brother, went to the rodeo on Sunday night, and I saw Riley Green, who was solid. He was playing, I think, a little guilty or a little bit hung from the night before in Kansas City. So it wasn't the best show I've seen him. I've seen him 3 times now. Kind of was going through the motions. Maybe he was an ego check where he's been riding a high of being a headliner, and he came up and opened up for Jason Aldean. But also, Jason Aldean, I haven't seen him in 6-7 years. My God, does this guy still bring it? If you have one concert you want to go to in the next, I don't know if he's still going to be still on tour. I know that was his final one for the year. Write down Aldean for 2026, my friend. He was unbelievable. You forget how many number 1 hits he had. He had 20 number 1 hits.
Dude, that guy's all time. I mean,
he was unbelievable. Amarillo Sky, shout out to the golf trip. I know I'm giving a ton of shout outs, but that song, oh my God.
Amarillo, you turn that song on, man. I mean, that brings you back. That puts you in a certain place. It's like one of those songs that just, it makes it feel a certain way. And I mean, Jason Aldean, I feel like, he gets lost in the sauce now, just he's a little older, but you do forget, like, when you look at his list, how many bangers he actually came out with. Like Flyover States, Night Train,
Burning It
Country, Down. Dirt Road Anthem,
Big Green Tractor.
Yeah, Big Green Tractor, all time. What else?
Try that in a small town.
Tattoos on This Town.
Yes. It was crazy. Yeah. It was banger after banger, dude.
Yeah, it's like similar to a Kenny Chesney concert where it's just banger after banger, and at the end you're almost like, geez, this is a little too much. Like, give me like a song I don't actually know so I could go take a piss and get something to drink. Like, you feel like you can't leave your seat when there's just banger after banger coming up.
Yeah, and he absolutely, they rock, you know what I mean? Like, they're out there, they're hitting the drums, bass guitars, electric guitars, like they're putting on a full-on, it's rock country is what it is. It's not some, because Kenny has bangers and he's got good tunes and his voice is unbelievable and his stage presence with the cutoff, and he comes out, he's just kicking it with the cowboy hat. But Aldean, like, they're rocking up there. Like, they're doing 4-minute guitar solos. Their drums are going nuts. Like, they were fucking amping. I was like, holy fuck, for a guy that's, how old is he now? 45, 47?
Maybe even older.
50?
Yeah.
He was rocking, man. It was insane.
Yeah, that's sick. Riley Green, you got to respect the little hung show, though.
Yeah, he was like I said, he came in from Kansas City the night before, and I think he was kind of just collecting his check. He went up there for like 45 minutes and just got off stage. Like, he's like, all right, I'm out. And the night before Auzzo, I didn't go, but apparently Bob Rock showed up like 45 minutes late, which is sick. So rock star. And then after the concert, he went to the Rusty Spur, which is a cowboy bar in Old Town, and apparently just grabbed the mic and just started spitting, like freestyling. And I got some pictures out of there. Yeah, Bob Rock was just amongst the people.
He likes going to those things, like just being amongst the people, grabbing the mic. That'd be such a sick life to live.
Yeah, in and out like a fiddler's elbow, and you're just city to city. Bob Rock, dude, is he all right? Like, I saw that picture of him or just like video. He looks so skinny. I was like, is Bob all right? Like, we need Bob around here, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been skinny, but he definitely, sometimes I do look at him. I'm like, is he healthy? Is he doing okay?
But it's just like, I mean, I think he's healthier now. He like works out and stuff, but it's just like, you can probably only do just so much dust.
Yeah, how many lives has he lived already?
Right.
Like, you look at those guys. Like, I mean, when you think about how much the average, I think we've went over this, but you think about how much the average person has slept in their life.
Yep.
You look at some of these guys. I mean, they haven't slept much.
Yeah,
compared to the average person.
For sure. So shout out to Bob Rock. Auzzo, that's enough on me, brother. I wanted to get into your weekend. I wanted to get into the chin of the UP. Obviously, you did the home and home with Houghton, Michigan, and then you slid over to Marquette a little further east. So I want the full breakdown of what you did in Houghton, and then I want the full breakdown of Marquette, and then kind of compare the two. And just, I want to hear about it, man.
Yeah, I think first off, it was awesome. Like this, I was actually very impressed. Both spots, the rink at Michigan Tech, Jordo, you said you've played there, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a fucking sick college hockey rink. Like that, I was not expecting that, to be honest. And their band was into it. Their student section was all time. I thought it was really cool in Houghton. Now, I went out to the bars downtown Houghton, and then at the game, it seemed like there was maybe a 90-10 split, men versus female. Women.
Oh, yeah, at least, yes. Engineering school.
It's all men.
Yep.
Like, I'm not kidding you. We were walking around even the bars, and then at the game, and this is nothing to, if you got a wife there and you're listening,
just an
option. I didn't see a hot girl the entire time in Houghton, like not one.
Yeah.
We were kind of searching, we're just like, let's find one. Let's make sure we see at least one.
Right.
We didn't. And it was actually like, you can't say that too often. Like, you can go to a ton of small towns, even in Wisconsin, and you walk into the bar, chances are there's going to be at least one pretty good looking girl there.
1-5 at least.
Like, at least.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck out to me. I mean, they all kind of look similar too. It's almost like they're, somewhat related a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's incest going on, but I think if you go far enough back, you could probably connect all these people together.
For sure.
But it was okay. I mean, Houghton was fine. The game was awesome. I love the rink there, the fan base. Great place to play a college hockey game. Marquette, actually a sick city. Like, I liked Marquette a lot. It was right on Lake Superior. They got really good places to eat. They got cool bars to go to. And I don't think their attendance is great during the season, but the game we were at versus Michigan Tech, it was packed in there. One of the best college hockey atmospheres I've seen. I mean, it was like, no offense to Bemidji State and the Sanford Center, but this place absolutely shit on the Sanford Center,
Wow.
So it was cool, man. I liked it a little bit the same. They got the Youpers up there, but we had a great time. I mean, it was like the 50th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald, so everyone's singing that song. Everyone knows about it because it kind of sunk like close to Marquette. So that was kind of fun and to do that. And it was cool to be with Casey Purper there, who played at Northern. So we got to tour the locker room. They got nice facilities. The campus is really nice there. I actually, that was a town, Jordan, where, if I got a family, I wouldn't mind living there. I'd do just fine. Houghton, I didn't see a lot of it, but from what I saw, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not living there. Oof. But Marquette, I could live there for sure. And
for Marquette, like, is the campus close to the water?
Yeah, it's right next to Lake Superior. So
would you say it's a Bemidji comparable?
Yeah, very, very, very comparable to Bemidji. I would say if Marquette wasn't in the UP, Jordo, they'd actually have a pretty good program. I mean, They won a national championship in '91, so I'm not saying they don't have a good program. And, when we were playing them, they were a 500 team. Like, they gave us a couple of good games. They weren't bad at all. But I think, just getting up there is hard for people, so it's hard to recruit players. But I do think if they were, if this place resided in Minnesota, like if it was in Bemidji's spot, they'd be better than Bemidji. It's cooler. It's a little bit cooler spot than Bemidji. I'd say it's a little smaller than Duluth, but it does have a Duluth feel to it. But yeah, on Saturday we went on a hike outside of town. We went up. It was called like Sugarloaf Mountain. Went to the top, looked out, pretty cool. And then after we went up this hill, so we were all hot. We jumped in Lake Superior, ice bath, felt great after being a little hung from the night before. And we had a great time on Saturday. I mean, I was sad to leave. It started blizzarding when we left, so I was happy we were getting out of there. But it was a cool place. It was a very cool rivalry. Like, to be honest, I don't think most schools, I don't know if Duluth has a rivalry like this. Like, do they ever? They don't have like these
Minnesota,
arenas,
but
no, like these arenas were bumping. Like these people were into it, and Northern's 0 for 12. They got a terrible team, so they had no business like fans showing up, but they did. I don't think there's a lot of other colleges that have a rivalry like this, so I was happy to see it.
Here's my theory about those schools, Auzzo, that used to be decent, like Northern Michigan, Lake State, some of those schools in and around the UP, even Michigan Tech. I think they could kind of get away with being decent in the 80s and 90s because there was no internet. Like, I remember talking to Jim Dowd, who his sons actually play at ASU, and we're going to get into the UND ASU series. But I remember talking to Dowder, downtown Jim Dowd, who played 750 NHL games. I'm like, Jimmy, like, you're a guy from like suburban New Jersey. Like, you're from like almost the city, like New York. Like, what led you to Lake State? He's like, oh, it's the only offer I got. I was like, yeah, I'll go there. Never saw my campus once. Like, I feel like people just used to commit to these schools and have no idea. And like, there was such a better chance for coaches to get some of these guys. And now it's like, obviously with the internet, it's way harder to get someone to go to Lake State or Northern Michigan when they got ASU TikTok pulled up and you're like, holy fuck. So,
well, yeah. And then you're thinking about the travel too. Like, we were talking to somebody, like we were touring the locker room with the hockey ops guy, and he was telling us about their travel to wherever they played before. It was like Omaha or something. They had to drive to Minneapolis and then fly somewhere. And like, that's their travel. When you think about that shit, and then that's also how your parents have to get up there too. It makes it tough to, justify going there if you can find a place that's a little easier to get to for the parents and, get home after. I mean, all that stuff kind of matters. I mean, that stuff even matters for guys committing to North Dakota too. I mean, we got an airport there, but, people are like, I don't know if I want to go all the way up there. So they're really battling it. But yeah, like back in the day, Lake Superior State has like 3 national championships. How the hell does that happen? Like
Doug Waite went there. Jeff Jackson was the coach. It's just, and nothing made sense, but you can kind of see how that it's transformed. I wanted to ask you lastly, Auzzo, like, is Marquette, did the campus have more life than Michigan Tech? Because I've seen Michigan Tech and I saw it in December and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, I feel for these fellas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
or is it still pretty barren?
Marquette's rink is like, so there's downtown Marquette, and then there's a road leading straight to the rink, and there's bars and restaurants going all the way up to the rink. So it was kind of right in the middle of campus, the rink was, whereas Houghton, downtown Houghton was far away from the rink. So there was no one downtown. Like we were down there and we're like, is anyone going to this game? Like what the hell's going on? There's no one down here. And then we drive to campus. It's packed there, but like I said, it's, I think everyone's just there to go to school because it was all dudes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I could do it, but fuck, that would be a tough, it's just a travel, man. Like you're playing in the CCHA now too. The CCHA isn't what it used to be. I mean, you got Mankato, you got Bemidji, and it's now the WCHA. So it's just like you're spread out all over the place. You're spread eagle. And like you said, Auzzo, you can't fly to any of these places. Like you're lucky to get a bird out of Green Bay, but even driving to Green Bay from Houghton or Marquette, it's 3 hours. And then if you're going to Detroit, it's 5. And in Minneapolis, it's another, what was it, 6 all in? 5?
Well, it's funny. Be like, I was expecting to see at least some like Michigan kids, Wisconsin kids, Minnesota kids on the team. There was none. It was all Canadians on both teams. And then Michigan Tech actually has a pretty good club. Like they looked good. I mean, they took it to the Gophers earlier in the year. They split with them, but I thought, I watched actually both games. I thought they should have, swept the Gophers. They got a pretty good club. Half their team is from Czechoslovakia and Russia. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah, they got guys from Finland, Czech, Russia, Sweden, Germany. Like they got all these flags. Like the student section's flying all these flags. Like that, I think their whole starting lineup. I don't think there was a single North American. So that's how they're like competing. Which I mean, good for them. They got a good team.
And they'd always have like that one random kid from California, like Thousand Oaks, California. It's like, fella, what are you doing? I never forget. I was my first year in Sioux City. One of my roommates, his name was Brad Robbins. Shout out to B Rabbit. And he was from, I believe he was from just outside of San Diego. And he committed to Bemidji State like really early on in the year. He'd played the previous year in the BCHL, had done well, but wanted to level up his game and try to get a college scholarship. So he commits like right off the Fall Classic to Bemidji. And I'm thinking, this kid, I'm like, I go up to him, I go, Bemidji fella, like I can get away with that. I'm going to Grand Forks, but you, dude, I don't know if this is going to work. Like, I know you. I know your game. I know you're a little soft, and I know you need the sun, and you need your Van shoes, and you got to wear the tight jeans, and you might be wearing makeup. Like, I don't know if this is going to work, brother. Like, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Sure as shit, Auzzo. I line up to him. First year we're there. We both going at the same time. I go, how you doing, man? He goes, I'm struggling. Lasted 2 years there.
Oh. Yeah. It's just it's a cultural shift. Like you can't.
And especially he wasn't playing a ton too. He's like in and out of the lineup. I was like, buddy, there's no way you're going to make it there.
No, if you're not playing, I mean, the hockey is good if you're at those schools. So like if you're playing, it's like, well, you're there for hockey anyways, so you can justify it. But if you're not playing, I mean, you got to get out of there. But I did forget to mention, Jordo, I wasn't even wearing, I was like wearing a black jacket and like hat. Like you couldn't really recognize me. But in Michigan Tech and Houghton at the rink, some guy pulled me over, a couple kids. Auzzo, how's it going? Good to see you. Took a picture with them. I was not expecting that.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
They love the Live and 5 boys. They love Home by 3, so.
That's awesome.
It was funny. Like I was like probably like 3 beers in at the time, so I was still pretty sober, but I was like, God, I didn't think I'd be recognized up in Houghton, but it kind of pumped my tires a little bit.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling. Fuck yeah, you saw that tweet? Yeah, you liked it, eh?
Yeah.
It's always a good bump to be like the internet's actually kind of real, maybe. For
it's scary. You forget, how far you can travel sometimes,
right?
And especially with a guy like me who's not necessarily watching my words. I know you aren't either as much, but it's funny how far it can travel. And you forget about it all the time.
That's hilarious. That's good, man. All press is good press, baby.
100%. Yeah, it is. I was definitely walking around with like a chest puffed out after that. Like, the fucking Houghton, Michigan got noticed,
Just start signing his kid's, start signing his kid's forehead. Hey, I got a Sharpie. Yeah, no worries. Just right on the forehead.
Sign his nice jacket he's got on.
Sign your name. They give the old Herbie Hancock, and underneath Natty Champ 2016. Kid's like eyebrows like leaking from Sharpie. It's like, dude, literally just sign this kid. He's got a bunch of face tattoos now. That's hilarious. Auzzo wanted to transfer over to this weekend's game. You are the official college hockey insider and super fan of our UND faithful. We got ASU coming to the chin of the Ralph Engelstad Arena tonight. We are recording on Friday, so folks, bear with us. You'll hear this tomorrow as we go into game 2 of the series finale. But just talking to a good friend and Jay Swish over here, tell me a little bit about this weekend. We had a solid weekend in Omaha, now ranked 6. Expectations always rise as you rise through the rankings. ASU has had a tough start, and despite what they've done, Greg Powers is going to have that team ready to go.
Yeah, this is a scary weekend for North Dakota because, you get these ASU guys, which I think is a team that's underachieving. I look at their roster, they've got good players. They're 3-6 right now. I think, they're coming off some tough losses. They got swept by Augustana. I just think looking at their roster, they should be better than what their record says, which is scary for a team like North Dakota because this ASU team, Jordan, coming in, any team coming in the Ralph's going to give you their best effort just because it's so fun playing in there as the away team. You're playing the big bad boys out of North Dakota, the big program who, flies charter jets everywhere and gets all that and has all the NHL draft picks. So it's scary. You would expect a sweep out of North Dakota, especially with the way they're playing right now, Jordan. They're rolling. I mean, they look good. One thing I'm cautious on North Dakota about right now, I think they have what it takes to go as far as they can. Whereas in past years, I was a little skeptical on that. I do think they have the guys in the room to get it done this year. It's just one thing that scares me, Jordan, which the average fan probably doesn't look too far into, but I do. They got 2 number 1 goalies right now. They're splitting time in the net, which creates some competitive juices there, but I don't love that. I like riding one goalie throughout the year. You don't play that many games in college. You want your goaltender who is going to, take you through the playoffs to get those games in throughout the year. And if they're splitting time right now, it creates a little bit of animosity in the locker room throughout the weeks because the goaltenders are supposed to be goalie nation. You know that. Goalie nation. They're always saying it. I always thought it was gay. Yeah. But that's what they do. They're always goalie nation boys. And what does that do to goalie nation? Like in the locker room. And I almost thought it kind of sucked as a player too. Like when we had Clark Saunders, Zane McIntyre, love both the guys, but they were splitting time too. And it's just a little awkward. It's like, who do you get behind? Who do you want to play for? You want both of them to succeed. You don't want one of them to fail, but one of them is going to kind of fail inevitably. It just creates some tension in the locker room that I think is unneeded. And I think, that's one thing that worries me a little bit about North Dakota going forward. I mean, if you're looking at this series as a North Dakota fan, anything less than a sweep this weekend would be a failure. And that sounds weird saying about this ASU roster too, because like I said, they have some really good players. I haven't watched many of their games outside of that first game against Gavin McKenna in Penn State, but I don't know what's going on with them. I just feel like they have better players than the record says.
Yeah, you almost need, if you're UND and the coaching staff with Dane Jackson, Schmaby, Simmer, and Bryn Chizik, you almost need one of those goalies to pull a Clark Saunders, the old Dale. Go up to the coach and say, hey, you know what? I don't think I can play back-to-back. You might just have to have one of those guys elect to do the Dale Saunders, the unselfish play, the unsung hero of, you know what? I'm drinking too much on a Tuesday. I just don't know if my legs can hold up on a back-to-back. So part of that story is true. Part of it is fabricated. It gets exaggerated over the years, but that is still one of the all-time moments of Dale Saunders. Absolutely. I don't think he pitched the shutout, but it was like a 33 save effort. Maybe not 33 because that was his number, but 30 odd saves going up to Hack, being Hack, pulling him aside, be like, what do you think for tomorrow? I don't know if I can go back to back. So maybe we need one of those. But I do agree with you in college. I do think, it's good to ride the hot hand. And who knows, Auzzo, maybe it's one of those at the first half of the season, the coaching staff is looking at it like, okay, we'll give both these guys their fair shake. And then after that, once the calendar flips, it's like, who is going to get hot? And that's going to be the guy we ride. I think that, to me, makes the most sense when you have two number ones. It's like, for whatever reason, sometimes, the goalies could be equally as good, but the team responds for whatever reason, whether it's luck or they feel more comfortable playing in front of one guy.
Yeah.
And then you start riding and it's the rocket ship. And it's like, okay, well, the team decided who the number one was, not the coaching staff.
Yeah, and then there's also other aspects to it too. Like, I know wherever he's from, Jan Spinar, the freshman goaltender. Yep. I think they had him start in Omaha on Friday night, played really well. No reason to take him out, and they put Homer in the next game. And I know I saw on Twitter, like, people are like, what the hell's going on? Like, why is Homer playing, when this guy just played unbelievable the night before? Well, you also got to think, Homer transferred from ASU, who are playing this weekend. And, you don't know, like, as a coach, I feel like this goaltender thing would be so hard to play the game, because you don't know who this goaltender's agent is. And you got to keep a good, you got to be in good graces with this agent probably. And there's other, what did they promise Homer coming in? Like, you got to give him his chance probably. There's other factors to this. So, yeah, I don't know. To me, when you think about being a coach, that would be one of the hardest parts about being a coach, is being in that position. When you got two guys who are playing so well, it's like, fuck, who do we move forward with? Because the longer you go splitting time, I think you're hurting your chances later in the year.
Yeah, it's tough, because if you're playing one game a weekend, 4 games a month,
you're not getting into it.
That's not enough touches for a netminder. It's arguably not even 2 games a weekend is not enough touches for a goalie to be seeing the pill, right? But that's just how college hockey works, and especially out west. Sometimes Hockey East, they have the luxury of busting across town and playing weekday games. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case here in the NCHC. So, yeah, I think, though, that'll get sorted out after the year. But it does bring up some questions where it's like, well, what are we doing here? Like, especially if they keep winning too with one of the guys, it's a luxury to have, but at the same time, it makes kind of matters a little bit dicey, because both those guys aren't happy. Like, you got the freshman coming in, and then you got to get the guy that transferred. So it's like, well, you got the guy of the future per se, and the guy that you brought in to put
the starter.
Yeah, put that little sticky putty on the hole that's leaking, because goaltending for a few years was a nightmare for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's a double-edged sword. I just would hate to be in that situation. Like Gibson Homer's a senior, so obviously he's got to make his mark on this season. And then you got this freshman kid, Jan Spinar, or however you pronounce his name, I don't know. He's probably just happy to get in that first game. But then once he plays well, and he plays another one and he wins, and then he plays another one and he wins and plays unreal, now he is like, well, fuck, it's kind of my net now. And, like you said, they're both not happy. They can't be as competitors.
No, it makes it tough. And it's not like a situation where, you have like a Zane McIntyre for 3 years, and it's like Cam Johnson comes in. Cam Johnson ends up winning a national championship, but he was kind of the guy that was just going to be the backup for the first year at least, until Zano signed. So yeah, we'll see, fella. That series going off the box tonight. ASU visiting the University of North Dakota. Auzzo wanted to get into a couple things around pro hockey. Let's start with Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes got hurt at dinner. Sounds like he cut himself with a knife, or he took a spill, maybe a little too much vino, some grapes over there at Chelly's restaurant, Chicago Cut, right in River North there. But I don't know what the fuck happened. This kid's been on an absolute heater, and he gets hurt at Chicago Cut. Like, what's going on here? What are we doing? Is it a booze thing? Is it simply you're cutting a loaf of bread and it slips? You're using the steak knife with the bread instead of the butter knife. What do we think happened here, man? Like, that's a tough bounce, dude.
Yeah, did it come out like what the actual injury is? Because I just saw it.
It's
It
a
was a
hand
non-hockey.
injury.
So
He cut himself with a knife, or he has a cut where he fell, slipped, or cut himself.
And are they just?
Well, I don't know if he was going like.
Yeah, like did they just want it to heal up a little bit before he puts it back into that stinky glove and gets it all sweaty, or?
I mean, it must be bad enough where there's a laceration required stitches.
Yeah, and he can't handle the puck.
Like, I don't think he's Jack Hughes doesn't strike me as a guy that's necessarily emo. I don't think he's cutting himself.
No, probably not. But the Hughes brothers, they do kind of look sad in all of their interviews.
They
just
do.
a little bit like, I always see Quinn in his interviews. He just looks like he's just depressed. When I think that's just how he looks.
Yeah, like what's like that Billie Eyelash, that song, Behind These Eyes or whatever, Angel Eyes. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what do we think happened here? Was it just simply he was sawing off a nice piece of A5 Wagyu off a ribeye and kind of just should have zigged when he zagged? Or
what I'm thinking, it had to have been something to do with the dinner rolls or the buns that came out, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed the sharp steak knife to cut. The restaurants didn't have the courtesy to cut it in half, and he wanted to cut it in half. Maybe put some butter in the middle, and maybe he's got it in his hand like this, and it just goes through the other side of the bun, and it just cuts the middle of his eye. I mean, I don't know. How does that happen?
Chelly must have sharp steel at Chicago Cut. I don't know who's sharpening those knives, but it has to be a situation like that where it's like a quick little reflex play and you end up going down. Like I said, I don't think he's like a Hot Topic emo type of kid, even though they kind of present that way sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's just a tough way to, like, you're at a dinner. You're probably the guy that everyone's looking at to pay for this meal too. And then you have to leave early due to a limb injury. Like, one of your limbs goes down. I don't know. Like, are you going into the ER? Like, that's tough. Like, you just have to leave your T-bone there. Can you even get it to go? And then you got to DoorDash something later. Like, there's a lot of shit going into that, man.
Yeah. You got to think the boys at the table were like, fuck, you're supposed to fucking pick up the tab.
Yeah. And now, like, Timo Meyer, who makes 8 and a hook, he's just been non-existent for the last 3 years. He's like, fuck, I guess it's on me, boys. Guess I got this one.
What's up with that guy? Where's his production at?
I don't know. Ever since he got his absolute chin stung by Trouba in the playoffs, it just hasn't been the same for him. I don't know if,
Trouba, you mentioned Trouba. How about these fucking Anaheim Ducks? What the hell's going on there?
Ducks like rain, dude. They're playing well. Joel Quenneville. It's amazing what a good coach will do.
I think Trouba's got one of the highest. Yeah, he's 4th in the league in plus minus.
Yeah, he's got 10 or 11 points. He's got 4 goals. He hasn't scored 4 goals in the last 4 years.
This guy just loves it. I know how much he hated being drafted to the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, this guy just must feel at home in the sunshine. He's going to the beach every night. I mean, this guy's just
good.
Yeah, he's got 12 points in 17 games. He's plus 15. I mean, they kind of ran him out of town, and you got to think him and Chris Kreider on the Anaheim Ducks are like, huh, I wish I was in New York playing for the Rangers. No fucking shot.
Yeah, they must be just on a steady dose of, like, they probably found that hybrid blend of sativa and indica, and they're just riding that wave, man. They probably bought longboards. Like, they probably went full Cowboys summer of 2018. Just letting it ride.
There's no pressure playing for the Ducks either.
No.
And no one even knows they exist. So it's like you're just having a good time. I mean, kind of got sick jerseys. Joel Quenneville obviously knows how to steer the ship.
Yeah, you walk into somewhere in Newport Beach to go get something to eat. Timo Solani could walk in and nobody's batting an eye. Number one, because everyone's high on mushrooms or dope, and 2, they'd be like, "That's Timo Solani." They'd be like, "What? Who? Oh yeah, hockey player. Oh cool." And just like back to eating their gluten-free salmon burrito. Like, they don't care. They wouldn't care about anything there. I don't think you could, if their wife got whacked, they wouldn't even care. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's happens.
All right.
That's all right. That's what time's that bar close? Oh yeah, surf club tomorrow. Yeah, right on, bro. Like
it's Hollywood, I guess,
Yeah, well, beach volleyball. Yeah, she's gonna come by. We'll talk it out. It'll be fine. So, Auzzo, I wanted to get to this, and I wanted to address it. I want to keep it real, keep it raw. Obviously, a pro player podcast over here, but this news out of the ECHL, the easy come, hard to leave league. Look, we have a bunch of buddies that have spent time in that league. Auzzo, you personally have played in that league. We have guys still that we know grinding it out. Shout out to young Stung Boy in Florida, 3-time MVP, 3-time champion of the Kelly Cup. Now, they threw out a little bit of a press release yesterday regarding the state of the affairs of their collective bargaining agreement, as well as just what they expect moving forward. Now, there are some things in that article that I did read I do agree with. I think I'm on their side for a lot of these things. No 3-3s, playing 4 games, 5 nights for minimal pay. That is all hard. That is all legit. That is all valid. I mean, you played in a ton of those. You've played in 3-3s, 4 and 5s. I think my first year in the American Hockey League, even I played in 13 3-3s or 12. So that's just kind of the way of the minors. And where I do hear them for their pay, I mean, the average ECHL salary, I think, is like $20,000. So I do agree with what they are saying, but as business owners as we are now, the league doesn't make any money. So what do you do here if you're the ownership, players, and also it's not like these players, yeah, you want to play hockey, but it's also, you know what you're signing up for at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to like tweet out about it because I do respect the players and they're all good guys and they, at the end of the day, Jordo, I mean, I agree with the 4 and 5s and the 3 and 3s are tough. Now you look at it from a logistical standpoint, it's probably a lot cheaper on the team to stay in one city rather than busing to different cities and doing all this and booking new hotel rooms or whatever. If you got all these games bunched together, then you can go to one city and stay there for a little while rather than coming back home, going somewhere else. It probably eliminates a lot of travel. And then one of the things I saw in there, Jordan, was how they're getting paid below minimum wage. Now, I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong. These guys they get free equipment. Okay, you get all free equipment. You got facilities that you're not paying to use. You've got
you get your living.
Yeah, you get your living paid for, and some of these guys in the coast who are veterans, they're living in fucking nice shacks. Like they're not up in some tent. Like they're living in a nice, like pretty nice shack. You're getting a lot of meals paid for. You're getting your lodging paid for when you're on the road. You're getting per diem. You're getting, all this stuff. And realistically, you're not working that much. You're playing games, and then you got an hour practice when you're not playing games. You're not working that much. I thought that part of it was a little bit like, okay, yeah, the ref's getting paid more during the game. It's like, I don't know if I buy that. In terms of the higher pay, now listen, I don't know the numbers that like are these team owners raking it in and like keeping money from the players? I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, I would like to see some sort of report on that because I can't imagine many teams in the East Coast are in the green.
I can imagine a lot of them lose money.
Yeah,
and it's like a tax write-off for like a rich guy who owns the team who just likes hockey. I don't know, but that is what I would guess. And at the end of the day, Jordo, you're a third string minor league team. Like to me, I was thankful to even being, have my apartment and even collect a check being in that league.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you got to look like, first off, these NHL guys aren't even getting paid that much. And then you got the American League, and then you're below that. To me, asking for more money, like some of these guys are getting paid well. Like I know Cam Johnson's getting paid like pretty decent.
Right. And
But
there
like,
are loopholes around, say, Cam Johnson, who signs an American League deal and gets put to the coast. Now it's up to the discretion of the coast owner who pays the majority of that salary. Is it the American Hockey League team affiliated with the NHL team, or is it a rich owner, say they have in Florida, to pay that? Also, I wanted to pick your brain though on the 4 and 5s and the 3 and 3s. 4 and 5s are brutal. Okay, I understand that, but for a 3 and 3, if you're playing in the East Coast Hockey League, Sundays are family days. Saturdays are probably a night where you put people in the stands for dollar beers. They can pregame all day, come to the game. And obviously Fridays are Fridays. So to even increase your pay as a player, what nights of the week do you expect that's going to drive revenue back into your owner's pocket that ultimately can give you more cash? Like,
yeah,
there's got to be a little bit of give and take here, fellas. Is all I'm saying. From a just a straight business model, you can't
yeah,
play a Tuesday night in Boise, Idaho, and expect 10,000 people to be there. Like that's not
no,
realistic.
no, you gotta. I mean, yeah, they suck to play, and the 4 and 5s are absolutely ridiculous when you
Right.
consider, being an athlete. It doesn't make sense, but at the same time, you do have to think about, who's funding this league, and at the end of the day, this. At the end of the day, I think you should be thankful that you still have a place to come and
Pursue your
play
dream.
and play hockey at a high level in front of fans, which is like, the most important thing about being a hockey player is, it's fun to play in front of fans at a competitive level, with something at least on the line. It's not beer league. It's you got a league set up for it. To me, I just think asking for more money for a league like that when it has to cost so much money. Like this equipment that they're using is not cheap. Like the travel is not cheap. Even I'm sure these the arenas they're playing in are expensive for them to use, and the facilities they have, and the trainers. And when I was in Utah, we had a massage therapist. Like we're third string minor league team. We got a massage therapist, so I'm going to ask for more pay. Like we're living a pretty good life. Like I was not thinking I should be paid more. Did I want to be? Yes.
Right. To me, it just seems, again, we do respect the players. We are hearing them out. But if you just look at it from a logistical side, where is this slush fund of money going to be coming from? And two, it's still a privilege. It's not a right to play pro hockey. Like, if you don't agree with what you're getting paid, number one, play better so you get called up. Or two, find another field of work. You're not being dragged through the mud to play in
No.
the East Coast Hockey League. There's plenty of good players that'll play. A lot of times, guys in the East Coast Hockey League, you don't like your pay? Well, you go start your career over in Europe.
Mhm.
Auzzo, as well as you get health insurance benefits, you get a place to live, you get, I guess, a paycheck, in some fashion. I just think we're running into a situation where it's a little bit of the boy who cried wolf with we saw with the PWHL and the WNBA. Like the numbers
Yes.
are the numbers. And I agree everyone should be paid more. I want everyone to be paid more, but the numbers are the numbers. Like how much more do you want? Is it 2,000 a year? Because at some point you can't keep running these issues. Like the WNBA is being funded strictly through the NBA. So now with the PWHL, that is being funded obviously through the NHL. So do you expect as an East Coast Hockey League player for NHL guys or NHL owners or the NHL as a league to funnel you money? I just, I'm a
Well,
capitalist. I don't know if that makes sense.
well, yeah, and even then, Jordo, I think a lot of these players on these rosters are on NHL, AHL deals where they're getting paid by the NHL club or the
Yeah.
American League. Like I just
The
I don't
health
want to.
insurance is
Yeah,
pretty good too.
it's
It's
pretty
pretty good.
good. Like I don't want to sound like a prick and like say, oh, they don't deserve to be paid more, but it's just like, come on, boys, like you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Like I don't think anyone is making big bucks off the East Coast Hockey League, and like
No.
you're sacrificing your bodies for some guy to get rich. And just I think it's a league where it's like we should be thankful we have it,
Yeah.
and to I think if you are going to ask for something, maybe just split it up. Like maybe ask for higher pay and we'll play 7 days a week. I don't care. Or don't ask for higher pay and ask for an easier schedule. No more 3-on-3s and 4-and-4s or
Right.
4-and-5s. But I think asking for both is probably a bit much. And you're right. It's like the WNBA asking for more money. It's like, let's just look at the numbers here. I'm sorry.
Right. And I mean, listen, like, if you're going to say you want less games or easier schedules and you want more pay, there's got to be a give and take. So the East Coast Hockey League, Auzzo, I believe, plays 72 games. So if you want more pay and you want to spread it out through a longer period of time, go to 82 games, no 4-and-5s. We'll do 3-and-3s for travel to save costs on ownership. And now this guarantees my owner at least 2 or 3 more home games, maybe 5 home games, right? So you go 10 more games, you get 5 more home games. Now that owner can be like, okay, well, you agree to play more games for me. We will now bump up your pay. I just think, like, for what they're asking for right now is, they're just, in simple terms, in layman's terms, they're not going to get it. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I really don't.
I also, I also don't know the numbers. Maybe
right.
Maybe they're looking at the numbers, and maybe these East Coast teams are just raking it in. I don't know for sure. I just would be willing to bet a lot that that's not the case.
Right.
Like, I just don't see, like, you look at these NHL teams, Jordan, where are they making their money? Obviously, TV deals, selling jerseys, merch. These coast teams aren't selling merch. They ain't selling jerseys, and they ain't selling TV deals.
Yeah,
so where's it coming from? It's literally just ticket sales.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if they own the building, it'd be concessions. But a lot of times they rent the building, so their split wouldn't be great either.
Yeah, so I don't know. When you look at it from that standpoint, it's just like, it's a little bit greedy. It comes off as a little bit greedy to, like, I showed it to my dad, and he's like, I mean, you don't like your pay? Fucking find a new job.
Yeah. It's hard because it's minor league sport, and you do want these guys to be taken care of, but at the end of the day, if the numbers don't check out, like, Auzzo, to me, the East Coast League has always been the USHL of pro hockey. You bus, you stay at shitty places, you're either in a billet house or you're in a team apartment. The reason why the USHL can kind of work is because the labor is free. The labor ain't free in the coast. No. You have to pay your coaches, you got to pay trainers, you got to pay an insurance bundle for probably at least 100 employees, if not more. You have a front office. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, and I do feel for the fellas because, I mean, making 20 grand ain't perfect, but it's like, if that's what you want to do, you got to find work outside of hockey and try different ventures and just basically put it together. It's, to me, I look at the coast as you're a startup contractor. You just got to kind of make things work for now. And then if you make it out of that league, great. But if you're there for 10 years, dude, that's your choice. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel bad. I really don't. I'm sorry.
I mean, I played in the league, and I love a lot of the guys. I know some guys that still do. I loved all the guys there. It's just like, dude, we don't deserve to be paid more. I mean, we should be happy that we have a place to play right now. And you really have no expenses in the coast. Like, your living is paid for, and some of those guys that I was playing with, Jordan, the veterans who weren't on American League deals, I mean, they were getting paid pretty well. Like, it wasn't bad for the amount of work that you're doing and getting to play hockey. It's just, I thought, when I saw that come out from the PHPA, I just thought it seemed a little bit greedy. Like, and it's like, oh, like, hey, fans, this is what we're going through. Like, we want to get paid more, and we want to play an easier schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. So if I was working for those guys at the PHPA, I would leverage more games, and I would say spread out through a longer amount of times. That way, it ensures my owner to get 5 more home games, and then can you increase my pay from there, and then start to work off of that. The structure that they're going with right now, I saw that, I was like, fellas, do we not have an Ivy Leaguer in there? Do we hire an attorney here? I mean, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not one of those guys, but I think voicing an opinion and just giving them a win as well so you can get a win back. You know what I mean? Like, Auzzo, you do business all the time. You want to feel like you walked away and you got a good deal. And a lot of times, if you're not a total scumbag, which you're not, you want to feel like the other person walked away and they got a fair deal too. Right? So it's just that's kind of just the give and take of it all. And that's the way I see you could maybe leverage that. But at this point, boys, I mean, come on. Let's but you know what? Let's
hey, maybe they get what they want too. You know, you never know.
Maybe they do. Maybe they
get her done.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
I also hope they don't fucking fold the league because they're asking for too much. It's like, boys.
Yep.
Got a place to play, you got fans. I mean, you're living the good life. You're a hockey player. You know, fuck. You know, just enjoy it.
Yeah, and like, trust me, I want everyone to get paid. I want NHL players to get paid more. I want AHL. Like, let's get these guys paid. It's got to make sense numbers wise, and that's what we do over here at Live in 5. So, Auzzo, I am going to go over to the People's Insider Term of the Week, very on brand for this week. And this week's People's Insider Term of the Week is cheese toast. Now, the cheese toast, the cheddar is always better, is the easy come, hard to leave hockey league. It is the third league in the U.S. and North America in terms of pro hockey. You have the NHL, you have the AHL, aka the Jungle or the Always Hungry League, and below that is the cheddar, the cheese toast. Just put a little cheese on that bread because you know what? That's maybe all we can have today for lunch. So the cheese toast is just another way to say, you know what? Fuck. I'm grinding right now, fellas. I'm staying with it, but I'm in the cheddar right now. I'm in the cheese toast. It ain't perfect. Long bus rides, gross subs, mystery meat, $14 per diem pack after tax. It's just a grind in the cheese toast here, fellas. I'm only eating ham and cheese sandwiches, and sometimes I might not even be able to put a little ham on that thing. So, Auzzo, this is this week's People's Insider Term of the Week, the easy come, hard to leave hockey league. A lot of beauties in this league, a lot of nail guns, a lot of guys that come up through the ranks of pro hockey have spent time in the cheese toast. But everyone, as an avid fan of hockey, should know that the East Coast Hockey League is considered the cheese toast amongst the players.
The cheese toast. Everyone calls it. It's so funny referring to that league as the cheese toast. But yeah, no, I don't want to come off, Jordo, as I'm a guy who's like against the cheese toast. But I hope the boys well. I wish them well. And yeah, I mean, I hope they get what they want in the cheese toast. But you know, I think we need to think logically, and you know, you do need to realize at the end of the day, like Chucky Slick said it best, you live in the dream still. So
100%.
That's worth something in itself. I think they're overlooking how much that is worth.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Auzzo, lastly, just wanted to ask you what's on tap for the weekend. Obviously, I'm heading to the Grey Cup, but what do we got shaking in Ozzo's land over there in Mini? She's dark already. Fuck, eh?
Oh, it's pitch black here. We're 5:15. Isn't that brutal? Like, that's the worst part about winter. If I don't care about the cold, Jordo, but the dark really kills you. Like, if we had the same amount of sunlight in the winter and it got cold, it wouldn't be that bad. It's just, what am I supposed to go to sleep right now? It's 5:15. Fucking dark out. Like, I gotta use a flashlight if I want to walk outside to my garage. Like, it's fucking 5:15. I still got like 6 hours left of, you know, being awake.
Marinating.
Yeah. But actually, it's funny you said that. I got no plans. I'm gonna watch the Sioux tonight. And then I got no plans. I'm gonna work tomorrow. I just got a text from a buddy. Hey man, you want to join in our suite for the Vikes game on Sunday? So Vikes Bears.
Bear the fuck down.
I don't know if
I don't hate it.
I don't know if I can turn that one down.
No, you might be turning the clocks back. You thought you were gonna have a sober weekend. Now you're gonna have a fucking stung Monday.
Get to watch 9 fucking face paint 9 play. I mean, we didn't talk about that. A little cringe, Jordan. A little cringe there. 9. I think just keep that to yourself.
What was that? Well, I don't know if I heard this one.
Did you hear JJ McCarthy call himself, you know, his alter ego's 9?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, but what do you do with the face paint?
Well, he's always got the face.
Oh, yeah,
He's got
yeah.
the face black on, or the
Yeah.
whatever the fucking is, and he calls himself Nine. I didn't love it, but if he wins a Super Bowl, he can call himself Nine.
I agree. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm a guy that can't back anything up either, and I have about 3 or 4 self-proclaimed nicknames. So maybe I kind of like this guy now. Maybe I'm a JJ McCarthy guy now. That's hilarious, though. Yeah. It's like when Brian Dawkins used to come out as a Terminator. Oh my God.
Oh, so good.
Insane. The Wolverine. No, it wasn't Terminator. It was Wolverine. Doc. And the sickest thing about Dawkins is he had the 2 stalls at the bank, the field in Philly.
Mhm.
The one side was Brian Dawkins and the other side was Wolverine. So when he would step into the locker room, he turned into Wolverine. And then when he came onto the field, you can watch this on YouTube, swear to God. He would come on the field crawling, but he doesn't speak English. He speaks Wolverine. So he's just yelling, and he comes out and he's just on all fours. And he is going nuts. And then all of a sudden they release him through the tunnel and the Wolverine shoots out and it's like insane. But he doesn't speak English, and his teammates would know and he's just like yelling random shit. It's insane.
Those football guys, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to get in that mindset because they're fucking psychos. I mean, they're getting into another world when they're putting that helmet on. So maybe I'll take that back. Maybe JJ does need an alter ego. I mean, I know Jennus, he's Justin without the Oakleys on, but when he puts the Oakleys on, he's Jennus. It plays, when you're one of the best wide receivers in the game. But maybe I'll walk that back. We'll see how he does against Caleb Fingerpaint Williams this Sunday in the bank.
100%. Auzzo, always tape to tape with you, brother. I got to pack my shit up, get my Sasky Rough Riders Pilsner jersey in there, Canadian tuxedo. I'm going full retard up in Winnipeg. So we will chat next week, fella. Always good to see your chin. Tape to tape with the captain. This is brought to you by Mini Movers and Butter Golf. Folks, have a great weekend. We out. Woo!